Ciao everyone, as promised, here is my build for the Twitch's house. Fair warning, I somehow managed to go through every single season while making this video, so you'll see the leaves changing for sure. So not only was my last Sims video 4 months ago, that was also the last time I actually played The Sims. I haven't had access to my computer since we've been moving. And of course that means there were a ton of updates that I had to do before I actually played, which, as you know, means that I had to go through my entire custom content folder and find the one piece that was messing up my game. So after about 4 hours, I was finally able to play, and of course it was some piece of content that I didn't even know what it did. But you know, I'm running like 20k deep in that folder, so it takes a lot of time. It drives me insane. If anyone would want to organize all of that for me, I would seriously love you forever. So I'm not all that great at building like the exteriors, but I was actually kind of proud of this one. I really tried. I think it's not terrible. I would have changed the roof a little bit, but I don't know, I think it all came together kind of really cute. I think the porch is really fun, and I wanted to do a lot of green accents for the exterior just because I wanted it to be kind of an odd choice, you know, so it's like maybe kind of an eyesore for the rest of the neighborhood, but it's like obviously a witch lives here. I also wanted to put really big windows in the back. I really like this location because there aren't too many neighbors. It's just the neighbors on the one side, but that's why I put the hedges there and left everything else open so that they have kind of a backyard plus. And then for the inside, I originally thought about giving them separate bedrooms just so I could decorate them a little bit more fully to their personal styles. But it's kind of a smaller house and I didn't want a lot of walls throughout, so even the walls I put all these arches because I wanted it to feel a little bit more open, so I just decided to give them one big bedroom that they could share. But first I had to go back and just add a couple more finishing touches to the exterior. I just added a couple of columns and some other windows and stuff throughout, just to make it look a little bit more fuller, because I think that a lot of the times my builds look a little flat because I don't add those other details around. So I just wanted to add those in and make it a little bit more complete before I started working on the interior again. And I actually want to go and check, but I feel like I always start with the kitchen. I don't know why. I think it's a little bit easier for me. But first I put this funky floor down because I don't know, I wanted it to be a little different, but I ended up changing it because it just looks a little too busy for me. So instead of a dining room, since it's just the two sisters, I wanted to just do bar seating in that window out there, because like that, what a dream. Like how pretty would that actually be? To just have your little witch's brew every morning overlooking the river that runs through Willow Creek. Oh, creek, there you go. That makes more sense. So just adding a few bits and bobs around in the kitchen. I wanted it to be very colorful and eclectic, just a little kind of kooky, but still really cute and kind of young-ish. This tapestry that I put up is something that I downloaded right before, and in doing that I found these other arches that I like so much better, just because it gives it this kind of older feel, which I think is totally this whole witchy vibe, and I think it just makes the space look so much more cozy and kind of medieval. I don't know, I just love it so much. And of course, since one of them is a green witch, I had to put plants everywhere in this build, but I really love how that looks. It's what I'm trying to do with my own house, honestly. But I just especially wanted the kitchen to be really cluttered, so there's just like potions and all kinds of stuff around. And honestly, I don't even know how playable this build is. I didn't actually do too much with them afterwards just because I was so tired. I had been at it all day. But maybe if I do decide to play with them, I'll have to move a couple things around just so they can actually, get around in there. But for aesthetic purposes, I think it's awesome. I'm kind of kicking myself for this living room because I completely forgot how to move things in The Sims just because, again, it's been so long since I played. I forgot about the control key. So everything is just kind of snapped to the grid, which is so annoying because it looks so blocky. And now that I remembered that, I'll probably go back in and just make it look a little more homey. I think right now it looks a little calculated. But it was also just a little awkward because it's right in front of the front door and I didn't want to have the couch too close to the TV. So I might rework it just a little bit more. I'm actually super pleased with their bedroom. Like I mentioned, I opted for just a bigger shared room, and it kind of was inspired by, I had a couple of friends of mine, their first apartment together. They had their room set up like this with like 2 full-size beds in there, and it was so cute, like kind of college vibes, but a little bit more grown up. I always thought that was adorable. So now I got to kind of recreate that and do slightly different personalities in each corner. Obviously they're both witches, but one has, more plants for the green witch over there. And I put, tarot cards, some crystals over on the other sister's side. I just really loved decorating this room and getting all into the small little details to really show off their personalities. And some of my favorite items in here are actually the rugs I put at their beds. I found them earlier today. I might link them if I can find them again, but they're actually like witchy bath mats. But I put them all over the house just because there was like 15 different swatches. And they just showed like all these different aspects of witchcraft, and I love them so much. I have a feeling they're gonna be in a lot of my builds coming up. Ian was kind of looking over my shoulder as I was making this build, and he loved the little candle that I put right next to her bed. And I thought that was funny because that's such a small little thing to like, but he said he liked it because it seemed dangerous and witches don't give a shit. And I have to agree with that. I think that's a very astute observation. So I don't know why I played myself like this, but I put, like 4 shelving units in here basically. And yet I continued to put things on the ground. Like I just wanted the ground to be like messy almost, but like kind of cute because they don't care. They're too busy. What, they're gonna clean up in the middle of the day? They've got too many spells to do. I'm so obsessed with the wallpaper for this bathroom. I used it in another build that I did just for myself, and I think it looks so fun, and I think it goes really well too with their kind of 70s 90s vibe. And ever since they introduced the platforms into the game, I can never have a bathroom just be all one level. I think that's so boring. So I kind of raised the shower up a bit, but I also wanted them to have a tub because witches need to soak, okay? So I've been really into just making the showers for myself. I like using the shower head from Discovery University, just placing it against a wall, and sometimes putting a partition or a curtain. But in this case, I just put a big window because I think that's really fun and sexy, like to be able to look into the shower. So I actually saw somebody on TikTok do this kind of attic room, and I thought that was really cool. And I think it goes perfectly with this witch house because maybe not everyone knows that they're witches, so they kind of had to keep all of their spell stuff upstairs in this little alcove. So I normally wouldn't do wallpaper like this unless it was like a kid's room, but I thought this was really cute. I've had it for a while and it has all these constellations, so I thought it went perfectly with the astrology vibes of the One Witch. And overall, I just think it gives it a good secret room vibe. So like I mentioned earlier, it'd been 4 months since I played, so I downloaded a bunch of custom content right before starting. So if I'm taking my time filling in every single one of these shelves, that's why. I had a lot to go through. But it was really cool because I downloaded a lot of like witch specific things for this, which kind of mirror what my actual home looks like. So I was focusing a lot on this view of the room, and then I turned it to the other side and there are 2 empty walls. We're just gonna forget about those and move on to the front porch. I didn't want to overclutter the porch since I already took a lot of time in the interior of the house, but I did want to add this cute little circle rug because I love a circle rug, and if you actually try to find one in real life, they're a little hard to find and a lot more expensive than you'd want to pay for one. So I'm just going to continue living out my circle rug fantasy in every single build that I do. Since one of them is a green witch, I obviously had to have a little garden for them. So she's got her insect farm, her bees, and a lot of planters out there for her. And that about does it for this build. I have some more time on my hands now, so I'm trying to get on a tighter schedule so I can do a couple of more Sims videos a month. But that's all. Thank you so much for watching.